All right. Let's get back to where we left off. Yeah, you had no clue what attracted you to Dad whatsoever. um, at what age did you guys get engaged?
We were never engaged. I never had an engagement ring. We just got married after he finished college. And
Do you remember where he even asked you to get married or marry him?
probably in the back seat of my brother's car.
It was in the back seat of your brother's car.
Yeah, I think.
And why did you say yes?
That's a good question.
Were you just bored? Or you wanted to get out of the car, so you figured you'd just yes him? Oh, that's funny. So,
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
and you got married,
In the Lewisburg Methodist Church,
what was the date?
October the 15th. Uh, 1949.
49, you were 21 years old?
You know, I wasn't. My dad had to sign for me because I was only 20. But I remember he gave me a hard time about signing because he said, "You don't know how much it'll cost you." It was a lot cheaper than it is now, but then you didn't make as much.
Well, did your mom and dad like Dad?
Yeah, oh yeah. She thought it was a good catch.
Yeah.
But he was a college graduate and he was teaching. He had a job for $5,100 a year.
And you got married in Lewisburg Church?
Yes.
Um,
We had the reception at my home.
I was going to say, where was the reception? Was that your house?
Yeah.
Who was in your wedding party? Your maid of honor was?
Oh, Lucille Snyder was my maid of honor, and Mary Jane was in the wedding party.
That's Dad's sister. Mary Jane's dad's sister.
Yes.
Anybody else female?
Oh, yeah. Probably she's deceased, and probably Charlie Hershberger's wife, who's deceased, Dolores. I have to. Oh, Vonnie Beaver, who was my roommate at Altoona School of Commerce. She's living now in Williamsburg, Virginia, in a retirement community, but her husband's deceased. So,
And you had the reception at your house.
yeah.
Did your mom make all the food? People bring the food?
Mm-hmm.
And
Probably bought the flowers and the cake.
and did you go on a honeymoon right away?
Yes.
Where
We
did- where-
went to Williamsburg, Virginia. I need Dad for this.
Well, he'll cover it when I talk to him, but
Oh,
that's where you went for a week?
probably.
Do you remember anything fun about the honeymoon? Anything you enjoyed, or just The fact that you were getting away was fine.
Well, that's 60-some years ago. I don't remember that.
Well, I'm just asking what you do remember. That's why we do this, you know. If you don't really remember that well, you know, I can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, so it's fine. Well, then, when you guys got married, where did you first live?
We lived in the spring house of the no heat, no running water, no refrigerator, no stove.
Where was that at?
The little summer house on the farm, down below Clay's house. There's a spring there.
You lived in that?
Yes.
Really?
We had a pull-out bed. I know we had a pull-out bed, but we slept up at my parents' house, or we went up there to the bedroom.
And why did you start living there? Where was Dad working somewhere close by, or was he going to school still?
Well, he went to school on and off. But that's just where we started out.
Right. And then after that, you moved to Spring Grove?
No, we had...
or a state college? You remember where you went?
Well, we bought the old office, Stone and Lime Company office for $4,000 and renovated that and put it in a kitchen. It did have a full bath in it, and that was a new enterprise. And we lived there. And then Jim went in the service for a year, so we rented it out furnished to a young couple who was teaching at Replogle. And then he come home when his dad died, and we took it over.
And then from there you moved to
Spring Grove.
Spring Grove, and
then we sold that house.
Right. So in Spring Grove, the first place you moved to, was that
Beside the railroad tracks.
was that down near Lockman's store, the little house?
No.
Or did you go up to the lake first, or?
No, we had a place on Water Street that had roaches. And we lived in the apartment there, and then we bought the house, and we didn't return to Lockman's store. We rented that when Dad got his master's degree. And we moved
so you moved into the apartment on Water Street first.
Yeah.
Then you went where?
Up to the lake.
That was you just rented that house.
Yes.
You didn't buy that house at the lake.
Well, the one at the lake we bought.
Oh, okay.
I think we paid something like $2,500 or $2,800 for that.
Which, if you think about it, that was
That was a good buy.
Good buy. A house on a lake, up in the woods.
But what we didn't know, it had wet water springs at the time when we bought that. So we had iron in the water.
So then you went from there down to the house by Lockman's store?
Yes.
Okay.
When Dad come back, or while he was at school.
Right.
And then that's when...
But when you went up to the house by the lake,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you decided that you were going to adopt me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes, and you had to own a house because she came out to visit and see if you had adequate room. And that's where you had the kitty. That's the beginning of your kitty story.
So what made you decide to adopt?
Well, we had tried to get a child, and so we adopted you, and then we put in for another child, and then I got pregnant with Richard.
So you were trying to have a baby, but you couldn't conceive, so you figured
Right.
you just adopt, right?
They say that happens a lot.
Yeah. What do you remember about the adoption process?
I remember of Pastor Moreland was all in favor, and he went to the hearing on the adoption, and I left. I didn't want your background. I didn't care. Oh, that poor soul. He doesn't move much, does he? So I was taking you at face value, and
So why did you name me what you named me? Why Mark?
after John Humbard comes into the picture, and Wayne.
Well, what does Mark have to do with John Humbard?
Well, I don't know. It was a short name, because a name like Hershberger, we didn't want to call you Solomon or something like that. So it had to be a short name.
Yeah. And Wayne?
Was after Mose Miller.
Yeah. Why?
He's your godfather.
Right. Where did you meet Mose Miller? How did he become such good friends?
After Dad got out of the service, we went to Miller Auto Company to buy a car. And we didn't buy one there, but he met Mose there, and they were the same age, and Nancy and I were about the same age, so he's not driving, is he?
Who, the man across the street? We're not really worried about him right now.
I am.
How about Rich? Where'd his name come from, Richard?
He's born at Nason Hospital, and Dr. Bulger delivered him, and his name was Richard. So Richard and Alan I got from my second brother, my middle brother.
Right. There's an interesting question, because you always said that you were closest to Uncle Junior Clay.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you name him Richard Clay Hershberger?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, you've said numerous times in this interview that you were closest to your brother Clay. He looked out for you. He took you everywhere. He did this, but then you have your son, and you name him your middle name after your middle brother Alan. Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't remember the reason for that, or?
No.
That's a good question, isn't it? Maybe we should ask Uncle Junior if that still stings. Right?
I think it's too late to change the name.
Well, do you have a particular fondest memory about me as a kid? Is there anything that sticks out that...
I remember you wouldn't lay down, and Dad had to lay down beside you and nap and hold you down after we got you home. You didn't want to nap. So he got his naps in that way.
Well, how about me during like childhood or teenage years or whatnot? Anything? Any good memories, or was I just a pain in the ass?
Oh, yes, there's a lot of fond memories raising you and Richard. The activities, the basketball games, the band trips.
Yeah. All the time in Kutztown, right?
Yeah.
How about, is there a favorite family vacation that we took that you remember?
Well, going out west.
Yeah, well, I always relate some of those stories to people I talk to. Yeah, do you remember any particular?
We used to go on just short jaunts on a Sunday, and I remember taking you to the coal mine. You probably remember that.
Yeah.
And
Well, I remember when we took off for that couple-week trip out west in the car. I remember the day we took off was the day Dad handed me my learner's permit. It just came in. And right there at the curb, he said, "You're driving." And I started off the family vacation driving. And then when we were in the Rockies, I remember coming down the Rockies, he put me in the driver's seat and said, "You're driving down the mountains," and it was a very steep, in the pouring rain.
Looking down to the edge, and it was a big drop off.
And I was driving, yeah. I also remember the car accident in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
And we had a policeman from Redding.
Allentown. And I remember taking a picture of a liquor store there called Dick's Liquors.
Yes.
I remember, was it outside of Chicago? We were at the hotel where I saw the murder in the parking lot. Was that near Chicago? I believe it was. I forget. We were at a Howard Johnson's Motor Lodge.
Was it a murder?
Yeah.
Was it a shooting?
Yeah. Our room was at the back of the Motor Lodge, and I said I was going to go down to get an orange sherbet freeze, which is what I loved, at Howard Johnson's. And as I left the back and was going through the back parking lot, I witnessed somebody pull out a gun and shoot somebody inside of a car. And I was questioned there, and I came back to the room and told you guys this, and you nearly freaked out. You were like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." Yeah.
I don't remember that.
That was quite a vacation.
Must have been.
How about family holidays? We always had a big Thanksgiving. You always cooked. For us, Kutztown. Right?
I remember Ted and Joan coming over and their children.
Well, Ted and Joan would come over, and Bill and Marlene would come down quite often. And Mrs. Art would come over.
Ellen?
Well, that was later on, yeah. But you'd always make a big turkey and all the spread. You made my favorite Chex Mix. Right?
I'm watching your woman or your neighbor clean her windows.
Do you want to take a break? Is that what you're saying to me?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want Dad?
What?